Hi, people of the universe, also Mars and everywhere else. Hello! As you can see, I am dressed properly for today's reading, and I got two new decks. I got the Transparent Tarot and the Egyptian Gods Oracle cards, which we're going to use, but I think also the Millennial Tarot can be useful for this reading that we're going to do today. I put on my brand new jacket and some sunglasses because today we are doing the cool reading, and I know some of you, well, I don't really know who is watching, but I know I have some people who sometimes watch it and who sometimes have had tarot readings with me. Several of you who struggle with ideas of being cool and how to do that. And I'm not gonna pose the spirit a question here today, but it's a cool reading and we're gonna see what comes out, and maybe you get a message of to help you with that, right? Maybe. And so we're gonna make 3 piles, and I don't know, maybe I should make 3 piles with the Millennial deck here. I think it really lends itself to the topic. I still have more decks on the way, but these are the ones that have arrived. You don't wanna, no, should look at it, but it's for a pile. I'll put it down. Let's go there, there, and there, and I'll pull out some cards from the deck for each of you, and I'll substitute as well with these and these transparent tarot, and you'll see how cool those are. Those are very fun. Okay, pile number 1, 2, 3. These are your crystals. I hope you can see them properly. You just use your intuition to select your pile, right? Emotions, feelings, vibrations. Try and keep your mind out of it. Your thoughts. I'll see you back in your pile. Yeah. All right. Hello. Pile number 1. Tell me a little bit about yourself as we get ready. Let me pull some cards here. We won't look at them just yet. However many. We're doing a cool reading for pile number 1 here. And we're gonna first take the Transparent Tarot. And I'm just gonna pull them first and I'll show you. This is the 8 of something, wands, I think. And this is I don't know how to read this. It's the 8 of cups. Seven of cups. Very cool. And lightning. Right, and so each card is transparent with a drawing. And I'll pull out how many I feel drawn to, and a picture will be shaped like this. I hope this is visible to you. So I wanted to put the camera closer, but I figure we can do other readings with these, like we did before in my room. Anyway, let me channel your message here. It seems like you've been struggling with a person, right? There's someone you aspire to be like, and it seems like no matter what you do, you never quite get it. And you're kind of stuck, right? You're trying to get to where this person is. And I see this person struggling. I think this is who you aspire to be like. You can also see here in the earlier version. Here. And this person is struggling a lot. I heard reconciliation. You know, they're struggling with friendships, partnerships, family relations, maybe even. And there's a lightning here, lightning strike. Right, so I think you gotta remember that this person is their own. Maybe you know a lot of people. Maybe you know a lot of groups. But this individual is someone quite special, I think. With a love here as well, and yin and yang. This person isn't someone who necessarily relates to a group dynamic. You know, maybe like even if they're in clubs, even if they join political parties or adhere to a specific group, you know, we all have some labels on us, even just as basic as boy and girl, right? With definitions, we're not gonna go into that. I think it's too political. But everybody has some sort of labels. But this person here that you look up to isn't someone who adheres to or follows the group's intention. Instead, they're a leader, and they want others to follow where they go. And they'll go on their path anyhow. Whoever this person is that you look up to. And so, if you want to get to that specific person's level, you gotta remember to be as lightning. You don't strike the same place twice, which means that you need not to be as the lightning that he or she is, but your own lightning. If you understand the metaphor there, right? Because this person is very individual and does not adhere to a group. And so if you try to, oh, this person believes in You know, let's say you're in America and this person is a Democrat, and you're like, okay, so to be as cool as this person, I have to be a Democrat. And then you go and be a Democrat, and you still don't get to their level. It's because they're disliking. And yeah, maybe he or she is a Democrat, but they are a leader, and they don't adhere to any authority within that, right? Nobody decides for them what to say, what to do, what to believe. Which is why they have the full capacity to then leave the group, especially if it's something like political, right? I hope you got that message. Let's look at these: hustle culture, gaslighting, lockdown, acting shady, binge watching, girls trip, generational wealth, and the Etsy. What do we see here? I think a message for you to remember that being cool and looking good. Right now I'm looking very good, if I do say so myself. I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm wearing this very cool jacket here that I chose myself and paid for. But you gotta remember that being cool is not the same as seeming cool, right? And I see a lot of deception here, and so I think people around you, maybe even yourself, are part of an attempt to seem like you are much cooler than you think you are or feel that you are, right? The idea of manipulating people to think that you are cool instead of just being cool. And this is something that can go through with more than just the idea of being cool, but it can go with different things as well. Being famous and appearing famous, being smart, appearing smart, right? And there's a difference, and you know, a lot of people are maybe very cool, but they don't know it because nobody tells them, or maybe people are jealous of them. Maybe nobody accepts that they are because they don't like it, right? And they're jealous and angry, and so they're like, no, that guy isn't cool at all. He's stupid and silly, right? And there's also this whole kind of shadow movement. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. That supports those who appear as, not only in terms of cool, but also in other things: gender, sexuality, fame, kind of stuff, right? All they want is people who try to appear as, not people who actually are. And so when they find someone who maybe isn't very cool, but really thrives to appear as, they celebrate that and they want to give power to that instead of to those who actually are. And they do that to every label. And so the message here is to really think about that and remember that even though appearances can be important, you gotta try not forget who you are, right? What is actually true. And then we take out these here: righteousness, protection, passion, truth and fairness, perseverance, webpage and enlighten me. So, what does this mean? I think it speaks taking some time to yourself, meditate. Definitely meditate in order to enlighten your own mind. And as you do, create something. Start crafting something. See if you think what you make is cool. Do you get the idea that, wow, this is cool? Maybe if you're making music, the sound, do you think, wow, that is so cool, right? See about that. Well, as you craft, be honest with yourself and slowly get to the point where you do, and look at what is it that you're doing those times where that is your response to your own creation. Look at what it is you're doing in those scenarios versus the scenarios where you look at it and you say, ah, that is cringe, that is silly, and or you laugh, or you make fun of, or you maybe even you get sick and throw it away, angry at yourself, that kind of stuff. Look at the difference. If you do that, you should be able to get enlightened, right, on this, of being cool and not just looking like you, right? Remember to meditate as well and take time for yourself while doing this assignment from Spirit here. And see that you do. You can only grow from doing it. Okay, pile number 1. Is there anything else you want to know before we finish your reading? Let's pull some cards just in case. No worries. Self-care. Soul cyclist. First like. Sorry not sorry. The millennial. The ghost. I think this is about the person we spoke about earlier on with these transparent tarot cards here, which you aspire to be like, who is struggling a lot. I think you ought to remember that what they think is cool might be something quite different than you do. And as for why, it's because of their own, or is it mine, right? But if you get to know the person, you will see how cool it is as well. But you gotta know the person, or see through the person's lenses. Get to know this person closer, and you'll see what they see. Alright? Pile number 1. Thank you very much. Okay, hello. Are you pile number 2? I've been expecting you. You're 5 minutes late for your appointment. This is your crystal here. I'm just making a joke, don't worry about it. And I'm gonna pull some cards from your deck here first. We're not gonna look at them, but we are gonna look at them later, don't worry. Any more? No. And then we're gonna use the transparent tarot, which is very cool because on each card there's a drawing and it shapes a picture. And I will show you the picture and I'll channel the message for you. It's a cool reading for pile number 2. Don't worry, we're on a bad time. I'm just shaping the picture of this transparent. Okay, you can maybe take a look at it. See how it has shaped a picture here for you. I see struggling swords fighting, and in an upside down mountain with the 2 horses of heads, and there we have the 3 swords. I sense kind of like a warrior spirit here, a knight. I sense like a disappointment in how things that you think are cool are not responded to amongst others around you. And you feel disappointed then, right? It seems kind of like things are upside down, right? That what is good is bad and bad is good. What is nice is mean and what is cool is not. But here's the thing. The world is possibly in a very different state than you actually think it is. Now for you to learn this, it's sacred knowledge. It can also be secret knowledge, hidden knowledge. But what you can do from where you stand is take your, I want to say power, right? Take your passion here for what you think is cool and celebrate it. People will hate you, people will look down on you, people will call you things. But just know within you that this is what you think is cool and you want to express it. Don't listen to those who tries to shut that down. More than likely they're not very cool themselves, because truly if you are cool, if you really are, you are a self-actualized individual, you could say. It might be a term used in other ways as well, but you are who you are, and the other people around you are also, if they're cool as well, they'll be who they are, right? And they'll express their selves in the way they think is cool. Of course, everybody can encounter issues with identity, no problem, but this sensation here of expressing who you are by simply being attracted to the things you think is cool, you think are cool. And so what you can do is do that, despite those who goes against you, despite those who tells you it's wrong, or those who tell you it's negative connotated words. They don't know anything. You do. It's you who know what this thing is that you think is cool, this knight in shining armor. If you go ahead and be that, despite people trying to tear you down, you'll make enemies, but you also conquer being cool. And let's see what you have here. The social justice warrior, big D energy, the ick, the Tinderists, dumpster fire, can't even, first time homeowner, microdose, stay at home dad. I think you have, people have an impression of you as somewhat of a player, somewhat of a bad boy who maybe sleeps around a lot and drinks a lot, possibly, but who also has a sense of justice, right? You also relating to the knight here in shining armor that is here. Let's call it your cool self then, right? And I think the message here is through it all, through the fire and flames, you can also use this energy, this passion here to celebrate, build, and found a family. Especially if you use your passion and you break through all these naysayers, as you can call them, those who tell you no, you can't do this, you shan't do that. It's illegal to walk like that, it's illegal to be like this. Now, I have never heard a law that forbids being in any way. It's not impossible, because anything can happen. But in most cases, laws are about doing, right? It's legal to do this. And you can always ask the politicians what the reasoning is. For example, you know, if it was legal to steal, the system would kind of fall apart because everybody could take anything. There would be no value in owning things like property or even cars. It's just an example. There's no law about being that I know. You can be anything, but you can't do anything because the societal system must function, right? Of course, it's possible to do anything, but it's not legal. I think, you know, there's a message here of taking that time, which you talked about, to find that passion and break through. Stay strong and confident in who you are. You're a knight in shining armor, right? Through breaking through that, you can gain certain authority where you will be able to shape and form not only family relations, but also a larger social group, right? It can also be a gangster gang, but let's call it a social group. You will be able to shape and form this as the knight in shining armor, you will gain authority. You will gain that social circle, and also you can use that to shape a family where you stand as a tall protector for your home, your partner, and potential kids. Also, the house, the private home, right? Where you can shape the rules, kind of, right? It's called a society, kind of, right? A smaller society. You can even, some would maybe call it a cult, who knows? But you can shape as this authority some rules that maybe are a little different to the norm at large in the society you live in within the social group. So new rules and norms, which makes you stand out as a group because you have your own set of ideas which you follow, which is similar to religious groups as well, right? Just to make a comparison here. I'm gonna pull some of the Egyptian oracle god cards. Transformation, meditation, skill, alchemical force, completeness, exploration, wholeness, darkness, and healing. And intelligence in reverse. So, as we already talked about, you find this passion within you and you'll find wholeness. You change, you will change, and everything around you will change as you break through these naysayers and those who tell you not to. Those who call you bad names and tell you what you're doing is negative, connotated labels, whatever. You'll break through, especially through meditating on it, finding this energy within you, realizing your skill, particular skill here as the knight in shining armor, which only you have, right? Others may have skills that can be compared, but you have a particular skill here, which relates to the authority as the knight in shining armor. You can realize that through meditation, you'll find wholeness and healing, and completeness. Now, I think a message here to also explore your inner darkness, because that can be something that is holding you back. Dark thoughts, negative doings, ill-minded operations. And with intelligence in reverse, I think, take your mind out of it. Leave behind the world that you already know as you go inside yourself and explore your inner being. Gradually getting to your darkness, the thoughts deep within which you would never tell anyone. Alchemical force, substances, alcohol. Be careful with that. Especially since that might be how you have dealt with these darker thoughts before. They can often bring them to surface. And then when you get sober again, you push them down. Right? So meditate instead. Go inside and look. And resonate. It can help you burst out of this bubble with these naysayers around Okay, pile number 2. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome in. It's your turn. You've been waiting patiently. This is your crystal here. And I'm gonna start by pulling some cards out of this deck. I'm gonna look at them later. Maybe you can see some glimpses as I pull them out. And we're gonna start with the transparent tarot, and I'll show you how cool they are. Because each card has a little drawing on it. And as I pull them to do this cool reading for you, they shape a picture together. And I'm just going to shape the picture here, and I'll show it to you, and I'll tell you what I see with my clairvoyant eyes. All the other abilities as well. Dragons. Pod. Wow, portals. Magic. Right. Almost there. Here is your finished picture of this man in the woods with the moon behind him. And I saw some things on the way as well, which I'll tell you. It's very beautiful. But the last kind of formation here of this deck, it speaks of you, either metaphorically or literally out in the woods, kind of humping away at a tree, frustrated. Oh, I wish I could get. I wish I could get. I don't understand. Right? And you feel almost pinned to the wall with stuff you can't comprehend. And that relates to what I see earlier in your deck here as well. Here you can see the phoenix and the dragons. And I think you feel very overwhelmed with dragons, knowledge, books, magic, tarot cards, psychic abilities. And then also in the middle of it, parties, drinking, and the phoenix, 3 people together, maybe even holding a phoenix in chains. Kind of see like they're birthing a phoenix and then pulling it in chains, keeping it hold. Now, all this oh, we are still recording. Okay. All the blitz went off. It looks like we have 20 minutes. Tell me if we stop recording. All this kind of stuff is superstition, spiritual beliefs, psychic abilities, and although that can be cool, I think you seem to be struggling to understand these things, and that's completely normal. Most people aren't psychic, and most cool people aren't psychic, but you can be both cool and psychic. And I think that is your message here, as you're struggling to understand these things that maybe you're not supposed to understand. Because all of these things are the kind of stuff that I am very into. Magic, tarot cards, prophecies, spiritual beliefs, dragons, and parties. I also enjoy a good party. I love parties and clubbing. And as this is a cool reading, I think the message is for you to let go. Realize that being cool is not one way. If one particular person is very cool, that doesn't mean that for you to do the same things makes you cool, because you are a different individual with different beliefs and interests. And if you go watch pile number 2, as I told them, they have a particular skill set that if they embrace, shall make them very cool. And you need to find yours. What makes you cool? How can you be cool? Parallel in your work. I just gotta go double check that we're recording, because I get stressed out. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to assume. Inner work, personal trainer, literally obsessed with tech vision, furlough, Sunday scaries, Instagram, boozy brunch, inner work. This seems very calm, chill energy. I see, maybe you live on the country, or maybe you want to live on the country. Because I see like fields and stuff. I sense a very desire for family life. You wanna chill out, shape a family on the country, relax. The tech visionary, literally obsessed. I think it almost feels like a duality here between city life and country life. Maybe you know someone who is raised in the city and who has city vibes all over them, who is used to buses, trains, loud noises, technology. Not that there's no technology on the country, but a lot of people in the country have a different relation to it because of the cultural aspect of living on the country. And so I sense a duality here. Either it's within yourself, where you're struggling between city life and country life, or it's you and a different person where you are the country vibe and the other person is the city boy, city girl, city life person. The spirit here is saying inner work can heal this wound, and you can bring these two things together. Have you heard of the suburbs? I grew up on what you can call the suburbs, like a district. Not in the city center, but still within the city limits. No, it's a little colder, but it's still in the city though. A lot of families grew up there. Had a lot of friends there when I grew up. Kind of like a school district, very safe. Kind of like middle class families living there. Lots of open areas for kids to play and youth to smoke in secret. Lots of house parties on the west side of town. I'm sure you can find more in my music relating to where I grew up. But let's not get too much into that. Inner work, and through inner work you can also gain physical fitness, I think, because there's also the relation between party and duty. Maybe you like to eat good food, but you also want to look good. Inner work, heal inner wounds, meditate, do energy healing. I know you're fed up with that kind of stuff, but you don't have to meditate on the mystical. What you need to meditate on is this duality here between body and work, country life and city life. As how this relates to being cool, I don't know, but it's what is coming true for you. Maybe through mashing up this within you, or reconciling this relationship, however it resonates to you, whether it's something within you or outside, or maybe both. To reconciling these two parts, you'll become something so cool that people can't comprehend it. I think so, yeah. Let me pull these cards here. Justice, change, resentment, truth and fairness, passion, perseverance, creation, and righteousness. And also being ordinary. There's no shame in being ordinary. Not everybody is extraordinary. Not everybody is superstitious. Not everyone is the chosen one from above. Right? Someone has to be the simple farm boy that is not Luke Skywalker. Why? Because the farm can't take care of itself. Every aspect of life is important. And no person is more important than the other. It is important to realize, especially a lot of people in the world actually are struggling with a sense of importance higher than what is normal. And so I think the message here is really to embrace your ordinarity. If you feel like I'm too normal or too boring, embrace your normality. Embrace your ordinary life by creating, through your inner work here, this mending of country and city, of fun and play, joy and fitness, drinking and partying, but also doing the work, getting strength, maybe on the farm, who knows. Embrace your ordinarity, truth and fairness, justice, and I think with passion here, you know, if you do this, the sun will shine bright, right? You will feel so enlightened and so whole and so happy. Part number 3, thank you. Okay, everybody from Milky Way Galaxy and beyond. That was You're reading, here's the card. It's couples costume in reverse. Speaks to all of you, remember to be true to yourself. In most cases, being deceptious and lying about who you are is not very cool. Cool people embrace who they express that feeling. Also in the sense of, well, in every way, right? I think what we discussed not too long ago, you know, if you are a pathological liar, then that is what you are, right? Then you do lie, that is completely honest. And so it's not necessarily about saying it, admitting it, or throwing it in someone's face, but it's about embracing it yourself and for yourself. Which doesn't mean it's good, or that you can't heal from it and change later. But it's about embracing who you are. And so with couples costume in reverse, for all of you, remember, if you're too deceptious, you're not being very cool. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed the reading. And if you are from Mars, give me a call.